Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. We got the AP poll for week 5 out right now. Let's talk about it. Texas at number 1. I have absolutely no problem with it. I know I say that every single week, but they're the team that has separated from the bunch. It's Texas and the rest of the field, in my opinion. Georgia, number 2, cool. Ohio State, Alabama, Tennessee. Honestly, you could flip Tennessee, Ole Miss again. I'm not really completely sold on that order of those two teams. Miami at 7. I don't have a problem with Oregon at 8 and Penn State. This is where things get a little murky for me, and then Utah at 10 there. I don't know the exact order of those teams. I know Oregon had a get right game and all that, but I need more data points for Oregon and Penn State for that matter. I know they just whooped up on Kent State, but that Bowling Green game concerned me for Penn State, and we'll see going forward as they enter into the more bulky side of their schedule. Utah at 10, they got the win. Wasn't completely thrilled with how they looked. I think them going up 2 is just a habit of Missouri and what happened to them. Missouri down 4, completely agree with it. I wouldn't put Michigan above them, but I also wouldn't have put Michigan that high. So kind of like splitting hairs here. I think Missouri probably realistically is more in like the 14 range. But we've got some other teams to kind of place below them before Missouri actually gets handed a loss, and I think now that's going to happen. I think Missouri was a little overrated. That includes me. I also overrated them. I had them, knocking on the door for top 6 there. So that's on everybody right now. Michigan at 12. Honestly, an impressive win. I think Michigan's the 12th best team in the country. No way. But to not throw the ball, just keep the ball on the ground, similar to what like an Iowa does, well, at least used to. They're kind of different this year. They kind of took on the role of Iowa, and it worked. They beat USC, and USC at 13. It was concerning. I don't think that the fan base should be too concerned with this loss. This was a weird one. I'm not 100% positive that USC went into Michigan thinking that team would show up. So a little bit of a trap game there for them. LSU at 14. It's cool. It was close, and they pulled away. Louisville at 15. Cool with me. Notre Dame was pretty close at the beginning there. I know it says 28-3. It was close, and then pulled away once again. I'm not sold on Notre Dame being that high in these polls. I know I was high on them at the beginning of the season. Everyone else was too. We'll see how things shake up. But they definitely have a path to the playoff, and I honestly kind of expect them to be there. But we'll see. Notre Dame gets a little scrappy when they need to. Clemson 17 looked great. Looked like the offense was firing on all cylinders. Don't got much to say about it. I'm glad they didn't place them too high. Which I thought the AP might overcorrect and go up, but I'm glad that's where they're at. Iowa State, they are looking impressive. I know it was just Arkansas State. I know this isn't a good team they were facing, but with the Big 12 starting to cannibalize itself, as we're going to talk about going further and in our recaps later on in the week, this is looking like a good squad, and they have a path, and it's a real path. Illinois at 19, impressive win against Nebraska. They looked great. Luke Altmaier, I don't know why people don't talk about him more. I've been high on him since last year. It's great. I expected Nebraska to win this game, but they didn't. So that's where we're at. Nebraska's still doing good. They're going to win some games. They're going to make a bowl. Illinois is probably going to make a bowl here. Oklahoma State, I probably would have dropped him more here. I'm not sure if I'd drop him out of the 25, maybe put him 24, 25, somewhere in that range, but that was awful. That was one of the worst games I've watched. That was one of the games I watched this past week due to Oklahoma State being my team. And the fact of funny enough, 3 of the teams that I have seen the most just stink it up is Oklahoma State, Houston, and Kansas State. And that's alarming for the Big 12. Oklahoma at 21. Don't let that score tell you this game was like a nail biter. Oklahoma looked awful. Jackson Arnold got benched during the game. I didn't watch this game in its totality, so I can't speak on every aspect of this game. If you guys know more about Oklahoma, more about Tennessee, let me know down below. Let the viewers know. But here's the team I want to talk about is BYU. We're gonna break this game down a little bit, but emphatic win. This is a home game for BYU, and I don't think many people thought BYU was going to be looking this good coming into the season. I'm not going to say they're going to win the Big 12. This could just be a complete trap game. People predicted that. If you looked up to the lead up of the game, the last 2 days before it, people were saying BYU has a chance here, a real shot. And I didn't listen to them. I was like, there's no way K-State's going to whoop up on this team. And the exact opposite happened. And as you see, K-State drops 10 spots. That is a huge fall. They looked like an FCS school. It looked miserable. A&M at 24 is my huge issue with the poll. Again, I know I had my huge issue with them last week as well. I'm sorry, the 26-20 win against Bowling Green. I can't tell if Bowling Green's good because they've taken Penn State to the limit. They've taken A&M to the limit. But A&M hasn't deserved a number 24 ranking, in my opinion. Boise State 25, I'm really happy to see them here. Honestly, I think they should have been ranked prior to this. And the way I would do this would probably put Boise State at 24, drop A&M out, and throw Washington State in there, or in Indiana. Either one of those two for me would have worked. Washington State has a path to the playoff, or we're breaking that down as well later this week. So get excited for that. It's going to be a pretty good video, I think. It's going to be an interesting time to look at that team. And other receiving votes here, honestly, I'm fine with it across the board. There's nothing here that's really shocking to me or alarming. Just maybe the one vote for Navy. I was maybe expecting a couple more than that. UCF, I think they're off a bye week. Be interesting to look at them going forward. So that's going to be our breakdown of the AP Top 25. Stay tuned later in the week for some game breakdowns and some path to the playoff breakdowns. I'll catch you guys in the next one.